The Zone.
All right, good morning. Welcome in. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Kessler Prime and the Renaissance. Steaks, bourbon, private dining rooms, KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. MRA will host Pulaski tonight, and that's the team that doesn't punt and doesn't kick off. So they don't punt, and they kick an onside kick. And they've been winning big for years. And they're fast as lightning. MRA has come up short a couple of times. Last year they had 9 pass interference calls, 1 late in the game. So we'll see what happens tonight with MRA Pulaski. I'll be watching some of that. I'll be watching Packers-Eagles. I'm pulling for the Green Bay Packers over the Philadelphia Eagles because, well, Philadelphia is in the NFC East. So is the Dallas Cowboys. Philadelphia is so much more well-run. Their general manager is 10 times better than the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Philadelphia, I don't know what happened to them last year, but they did fall apart. They had players losing their minds, and Nick Sirianni was their coach. He was kind of the darling going into last year, and then they were 10-1.
Yeah.
And then they just racked up some losses on the way out, couldn't quite get it right. The locker room kind of got frayed and fractured. You can do with that what you will. It's a new year. They've added, some players have left. They've added some. There's always attrition or whatever, people moving around, retiring, and moving to other teams. But we get to see what the Packers are and what the Eagles are. I know it's early. Last night's game was good, very entertaining. As far as the Chiefs and the Ravens. Can that Worthy guy fly or what?
Oh.
See, that's what the Chiefs do.
Yep.
That's what you do when you have a full-time general manager. It's those things that you do when you have a full-time general manager. That's why you have to have a full-time general manager to do what you want to do in this league. That's the way it works. But it was a good football game last night. And physical, Ravens, Chiefs, and hey, they could play again.
Oh yeah, they will play again. It sure feels like it
in the playoffs. And woo, look at that.
And Baltimore played their worst game of the year.
Did you feel like it? Well, they only played one game.
That's why. But yes, they played a very ball. They didn't play Lamar Jackson ball game. No.
Okay.
Nah. And then not to say that Mahomes and them had their stellar game either now, but
well, the refs blew the whistle left and right.
They did.
There's a big debate on the lining up right in the format. Woo, look at that.
That boy can go.
Worthy again for the TD. Goodness gracious.
Hey, what do you do?
What do you do? That guy can fly.
You try to put hands on him.
That usually doesn't happen, by the way, in the NFL.
No,
that happens in high school and college, but you don't get that open.
He tried to jam him, and he had
in the NFL
hands on his back.
Right.
He's already gone.
Lamar.
It's just they're going to play again. And the number that they draw.
You feel like they'll play again in January in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think the AFC Championship.
Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
What number that'll bring again is going to be ridiculous.
Oh, it'll be fabulous.
I mean, regardless.
Whoa.
Regardless of
what an ending.
The Mahomes and the Chiefs fatigue.
Oh,
they'll dial in that ball game no matter when to see if they'll lose.
Man, Lamar missing that one.
Yeah, it hurt him.
Yeah, that was a bad throw.
Hurt him bad.
Goodness gracious. On second down?
Yeah.
Goodness. Woo!
He makes that throw 9 times out of 10.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a throw.
Boom. We're live. What?
You don't think he's in?
No, he's not in.
Does it matter what color shoes he's wearing?
Yeah.
Because Mahomes made light of it, but
so if he's wearing white shoes instead,
it's a lot harder to decipher.
Look right there, he's not in.
Oh, he's out. Yeah,
he's not in. And I don't care. I mean, I don't really care who won the game, but it's not like I'm a huge Chiefs fan.
No. But
I recognize that they're aligned and they have amazing ownership, management, head coach, and quarterback.
Now, I did see a huge Chiefs fan yesterday.
Rob J.
That's
Mr. Rob J. To you.
You're dang right it is. I love that guy. He rules.
Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
Mr. Jackson State.
Yes.
And Mr. Rob J.
Absolutely.
Yep.
He is phenomenal. Everybody was decked out with jerseys.
That's good.
I told Allison we were going to have to get her a Dak jersey to replace that Zeke jersey.
What'd she say?
She said she would love that.
Oh.
Yeah, get that Zeke.
I got a Dak jersey back there.
Well, hot dog.
Yeah. I think it's the blue one. Don't we? I'm pretty sure. We are the Out of Bounds Show. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Got Jackson Meadows with me. Hope you're doing well. Game day, Martin's in Livingston. Game day, Martin's in Livingston. Have you checked it out? It's the new restaurant and bar in Livingston.
You know what the line was on that game? Yeah.
No.
6.5?
3.5?
6.5.
6.5.
What do you know? 27-20.
27-20.
Ended up crawling to like 7.5.
Oh, my goodness.
Man, they're ridiculous.
Jordan Love tonight and the Green Bay Packers going against Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Now you're pulling for the Pack.
I'm pulling for the Packers.
I'm cool with that. Now, do you believe they win?
Oh, I think they have.
They have a dang good shot.
These teams are even.
Yeah, what separates a freaking?
Well, in the NFL, it's not like college and high school where you see all these, 50-7. And,
right.
Yeah, this is not what we're going to do. That's why the NFL product is so. That's why the average viewing, there's more college games, so it's not really fair to run those numbers that way. But the average NFL game viewership is 18 million plus.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And this game got more than that.
Oh, I'm waiting on the numbers.
So I think they'll hit about 10 a.m. But
this is going to be a big number.
Yeah.
If I told you earlier, divisional round playoff games are around 40 mil.
Do you really want Lamar Jackson running the ball 16 times?
The obvious answer is no until you understand that he's like 235. He's huge.
Yeah, but I don't care how big you are.
I'm with you. I get it.
I don't think he's 235. I think he's 220.
Yeah, that's probably more close.
Yeah. He just, has he gained a lot of weight since he was, pencil thin coming out of Louisville? Yes. But I think he's probably, he was probably lower. 185, 190, and then he's 215, 220.
It might be even under that. It could probably be 205, 210.
215, 210. Yeah. He's just so much bigger than he was.
Yeah, I think that,
he was rail thin coming out of U of L.
Golly, that's exactly what it is. Because, you see him, there were little twigs running. Ain't twigs no more.
He's put on a lot of weight and a lot of muscle. He is, but still, it doesn't matter. Getting hit by a linebacker in the NFL, going full speed. That doesn't work. Hey, the agup.com text line, 601-885-3776. And then Twitter handle, @BoBounds. Your Michelob Ultra caller line, 601-707-3750. The show is powered by Superior Foundation. If you have foundation issues, call Superior Foundation right now. Superior.ms. We'll go to the Stella Artois caller line, 601-707-3750. Ole Miss will host Middle Tennessee. Do they not call it state anymore, Jackson? Is it just Middle Tennessee? Huh. I grew up with Middle Tennessee State and Memphis State. Nick Saban called them Memphis State. Last week or the week before on game day? How funny are Pat McAfee and Nick Saban and their personalities and demeanor on the game day set? We've been talking the last 8 or 9 years about how that show had become boring. I mean, Desmond Howard's not interesting. Herbie's just, he's pretty good, but they needed some flair. And, Corso, we're all pulling for him, but he's gotten older and had health issues. And, whoever's hosting, Fowler or Reese, are just stiff as a board. And the show needed some spunk and some spice, right? It needed 3 or 4 shots of Fireball. It just did. Well, McAfee brought 37 shots. And then Saban's amazing on TV, even though he's very focused and structured. But I know y'all have all enjoyed watching McAfee dancing during the break, and Saban's just locked in. But I did think this resonated with me last week before we go to Andre. This resonated with me. Saban talking about how much fun he had on site at A&M. And it was almost like he was saying, I didn't know y'all did this. Because he's focused. I mean, every part of his day was taken, prepping, trying to put Alabama in the best possible situation to win a football game. He wasn't sitting there watching Game Day or any of the shows. But I think, did y'all see the shot of him looking out in the A&M crowd last week? I thought that said it all. It was a man who's done it, who coached from the time he was 22, 23 years old until last year, I think 70 or so. And now he's just, he's blown away at what people, how we all celebrate. We all get together. It's a fun day for us. We get to see our people, and we run into people from different towns and out of state in Starkville and Oxford and the other towns. And that's special, especially as you get older. It's even more so. But you could see on Saban's face that he was like, this is unbelievable. This is fun.
No doubt.
Y'all are cooler than I thought.
Yeah.
And I'm having fun and I'm enjoying it. And he is such a valuable piece of the puzzle now for game day.
Oh, it's
and making that show needed a reboot bad. And again, Desmond just talks in circles.
oh, he's bad.
And then Herbie is Herbie. And you just needed some flair. And now you got McAfee, who's a wild man. He's the fireball dude. And you got Saban, who's actually got a much his humor and his wit is fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's great on the air, and then he's got such a presence because of his success. So I thought that was good. Let's go.
Yeah, go all in.
Yeah. Let's go to Andre on the Stella Artois caller line. Andre, what's up, buddy?
Hey, it's going great this morning, man. Getting ready for this good college football weekend.
Me too.
Hey, we gonna show everybody why the SEC is the best. We got a lot of unranked teams like Arkansas, Mississippi State going on the road.
Yeah.
Both of those teams gonna get that win.
Easy.
I hope Mississippi State does.
Hey, I'm just letting you know. Both of those teams gonna get that win.
I bet on them.
Tennessee goes to North Carolina State. Well, I think they playing in Charlotte.
Yeah.
But it don't really matter. We gonna show the world this weekend why the bottom feeders, what they want to call it, the guy that you never want to just say we ever played the college playoffs. But we gonna show the world why the SEC is the best.
Well, I love it. Is your team LSU? Who's your team?
I'm diehard LSU, man. It's not over with for LSU. It's not over with.
No, I don't think so either. I actually think you have a really good team. You actually played somebody in week one. I see these other fan bases running around talking about how awesome they are after they beat Salami Tech. And I think a bunch of teams could have lost either one of those games that A&M and LSU lost last weekend outside of Georgia and Bama. So, no, I think you've got a good football team. Nussmeier's good. Your defense will come along. I hated to see John Emery tore his ACL because he was playing so well. But, yeah, I think I can't wait to watch I think you'll go – I think you'll win the rest of your games until Ole Miss, and then I think that's going to be a hell of a game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's 2 games that you need to watch this weekend that's not on nobody's radar.
All right, talk to me.
All right, you got Tulane playing Kansas State down in New Orleans.
Oh,
Kansas State might be in some trouble.
Oh,
And then you got the Patrick Mahomes lookalike Nebraska against Coach Prime. I think Nebraska, they beat Colorado this weekend. He looked just like Patrick Mahomes, freshman quarterback for Nebraska.
Does he really? Okay.
Yeah, pull it up and look at him.
Okay, so is that game in Lincoln or Boulder? Do you know, Andre?
It's in Lincoln.
Gotcha.
Same numbers, same look. He threw for 4 touchdowns. True freshman.
Dang. I got to check that out, my man.
Check it out, man. What do you think about Texas and Michigan?
I think Texas wins.
Tell me something. You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, I might be the only one that go with Michigan. I think
what?
Sometimes I think sometimes when everybody thinks they back, they take a step back. Like we thought Florida State was back. They took the wrong quarterback. They wasn't back.
I'm so glad they didn't pick Blake Shapen because he's 50 times better than DJ Uiagalelei. I'm with you on that. Okay. Hey, guess what else? Lagway, the hotshot 5-star at Florida, they're going to give him the start this week. So
I don't blame him. Think about it. That quarterback has killed 2 programs. He killed Clemson because think about it. He was just like Mitch Mustang from Arkansas.
I remember Mitch Mustang.
Hey, he was ranked like number 1 with Tim Tebow when he came out of high school. People forget that.
Okay.
He went, yeah.
Oh, I remember he was one of the top quarterbacks ranked, and he went to Arkansas and Southern Cal. Is that right?
Yeah. They put his dad on staff in Arkansas.
Oh, I love it when they do that. Yeah. You got to love that. That usually doesn't work out, but yeah, I'm with you. All right, buddy.
Great.
Are Packers, Eagles tonight? Who you rooting for?
If I had to pick one, I probably would take the Eagles, man. I'm not just sold on Jordan Love yet because they really didn't have no film on him, and he kind of came out of nowhere at the end.
Right.
I would go with the Eagles. They got the running game. All they got to do is really run the football. I think they'll win the game. You got Barkley back there.
Okay.
I'll go with the Eagles 27-20 Eagles.
Oh, I like it. Andre, have a great weekend, my friend. Enjoy football. Soak it up.
All right.
This is what we wait for. And we had it last night. I enjoyed it. I went out to my little man cave and watched Ravens Chiefs. And I told y'all I couldn't commit to Netflix or Amazon the last few weeks just because I know I'm going to be watching football from now through the Super Bowl in February. So no shows, just football. And I can't wait till tonight. I'm going to watch MRA Pulaski, and I'm going to watch Packers Eagles. I'm pulling for the Packers because of Elton Jenkins. And, not that I'm a huge Jordan. I'm not anti-Jordan. I'm not anti-Jalen Hurts. I like him. I like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
Fletcher.
Well, he retired.
I know, but he is an Eagle. That dude reminds me of Philadelphia.
Well, he
Eagles.
make the Hall of Fame. He should.
There's a question?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, no.
He was fantastic for years. Good morning. Welcome in. The Out of Bounds Show. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. interesting discussion yesterday as I was leaving Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. I ran into a group of guys, and they wanted to talk. They could tell that, I had helmets on the table outside, and they were like, you Sports Talk Radio is a guys group in town. They were playing golf for a couple of days. And they asked me about all the Ole Miss hype. And they were like, Lane has turned into one hell of a coach. And I was like, yes, he's top 10 coach in college football. Could trend into the top 5. I'm sure Ole Miss fans think he's number 1 now that Saban's gone, and that's fine. Kirby Smart's going to have something to say about that. Kalen DeBoer and a couple others. But Lane is in the conversation. And Dave Bartu said on our show that it's the best coaching story the last decade in college football. Kind of redemption. He got fired on the tarmac, rehab, Saban yelling at him on the sideline, all the huffing and puffing that he would do while Saban was yelling at him, goes to FAU, you didn't pay attention, I didn't pay attention, won, and now he's at Ole Miss and winning big. So the conversation was, hey, what do you think about Ole Miss? And I said, well, they're a legit top 10 team. They're going to get to prove if they're a top 5 team. And they committed to all the stuff, the portal and NIL because of Kiffin. And it took a super booster who, again, has been very successful as a trial attorney and developed a super cool neighborhood down 463 to do one of the smartest things in the history of Ole Miss. And that is he got it, and then he rallied some of his other successful friends, and it was a rocket ship. And others sat on the sideline. Other schools sat on the sideline and said, well, we'll find another way. Well, there's not another way. It's NIL and picking up, players to make your team better. But I think Ole Miss, I don't know if they'll win the SEC. It's going to be damn hard, even with their schedule. And I know Georgia's got a tougher schedule than them, much tougher. And Alabama has, I think, a pretty favorable schedule, but still tougher than Ole Miss. And then I don't know what's going to happen with Tennessee. We'll just have to see. In fact, I'm interested to see what Tennessee does this weekend against NC State on a neutral field. They should take care of business, right? If you're who you want to be, and you're telling me all during the offseason, kind of like Ole Miss, next week they need to go, beat Wake Forest by 40. Wake Forest isn't good. You out-recruit them by, 58 spots, and you're number 1 in the portal class on paper. I think Ohio State and Texas could make a strong run at it too. They just didn't have the quantity. But you're still in the top 3. I think Ole Miss could win the Big Ten. Like if you dropped Ole Miss in the Big Ten, no question. They may be the leader, but it would be them in Ohio State. Now, Ohio State is not anything to sneeze at. Okay, but it would be Ole Miss and Ohio State. It wouldn't be and Michigan and Penn State. Penn State hasn't been a power in forever. They just get ranked because of their name, and they have a cupcake schedule outside of Michigan and Ohio State, and they can't beat Michigan and Ohio State, and they haven't had a big win in the 2000s. But yeah, so we'll see. Is Ole Miss going to end up in the SEC championship game with Georgia or Bama or maybe Tennessee,
Missouri?
I'm not. They do have a great schedule.
Yeah,
now look, I don't care what happened last weekend. Missouri going to Texas A&M in a few weeks is not going to be a cakewalk.
Oh no.
And Missouri hosting Auburn is not going to be a cakewalk. And Missouri going to Tuscaloosa.
Oh.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah. So let's see how all that plays out.
Yeah, this ain't the East.
No, it is not the East. It's not the East. And they still get to pull Vanderbilt, but it's not the East.
No.
And Boston College just beat Florida State.
Yeah.
And Missouri pulls Boston College next weekend. Now, they should win, but we'll see. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Another great place to watch the games is the Keg House. Have you been to the Keg House in Ridgeland? It's right by Casadora's. 41 beers on tap, including they've got Stella Artois, they've got Key City, they've got Urban South, they've got all kinds of amazing beers. They've got one of the best game day pretzels I've ever had in my life with beer cheese and beer mustard to dip in. It's soft, it's hot, comes out, it's huge. Huge. Just it comes out on this hook. It's awesome. Their muffaletta is amazing. They have all kinds of appetizers and sandwiches. The Keg House, they've got TVs everywhere. The Keg House in Ridgeland on Highway 51, right by Fleet Feet. Let's go. The Keg House, game day pretzel. The beer mustard and the beer cheese is amazing. They're actually open for lunch today. Of course, they'll be open all day tomorrow. The Keg House in Ridgeland. Boom. Highway 51 by Fleet Feet. Local, 41 beers on tap. Amazing place. Muffalettas. And what did I have last time? The red beans and rice? Or did I have some gumbo? No, gumbo. I had the gumbo. And it was good. So that's all at the Keg House, Highway 51 in Ridgeland, right by Fleet Feet. TVs everywhere. 41 beers on tap. Key City, Stella Artois, Michelob Ultra, Urban South, among Southern Prohibition out of Hattiesburg.
Yep.
Repping Hattiesburg. Great listenership down there in Hattiesburg. Laurel, you can stream the show on the Out of Bounds radio app and the zone1059.com. Do we have Bar 2 on Ole Miss? Okay. Bar 2 stopped by, and he's one of our expert handicappers. We're also going to have Fat Jack Ross. Did I get that right?
Yep. Fat Jack Sports.
Fat Jack Sports at 9:30 today. He'll handicap the games. Bar 2's doing it. It's all brought to you by Stella Artois. This is Bar 2 talking Ole Miss and Middle Tennessee. Enough about them. And the reason is it's a compliment because I expect them to just walk through this schedule until they get to LSU. So they got 4 non-cons, Kentucky at home at South Carolina. But I'm just going to ask you, this is such a mismatch, but I want to ask you about the over-under. Middle Tennessee at Ole Miss, so it's minus 41, but the over-under is 63.5. And neither one of those may do anything for you. Just had to ask.
No, minus 41. There's recency bias in everybody's brains right now because Ole Miss racked up so many points last weekend. Middle Tennessee, and the total is let me look at this real
63.5, and Derek Mason is their head coach.
63.5. I know Derek Mason's their head coach. That's why I have a pause here, because Derek is a really, really smart defensive head coach. Okay. Ole Miss is probably going to cover this thing, right? But is it going to be 45-0? Can we get to 63? I think that's the real difficulty there is trying to, it is. Those numbers are so far out there with 41.5. But that means they're projecting a 40, basically a 42-21 football game.
Mm.
I don't think Middle Tennessee is going to be scoring 21.
No,
I don't. I really don't. I believe. The thing is with Ole Miss, everybody loves the offense and Dart and Kiffin, and I don't blame them. Kiffin is a top 10 OC and a, very, very good head coach. But I think lost in all this is Pete Golding is still really damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't they pitch a shutout last weekend?
Yeah, 76-0.
See, on this one, I think Middle Tennessee will slow it down. I think this is going to be more on the defensive end. If I had to pick something here, if I'm leaning something, I'm leaning under 63.5 because of Mason turning it into more of a defensive game. But because Pete's so good, I don't think Middle Tennessee should be scoring much either. I don't have a whole lot of faith in their OC in that ball game. And so I think Ole Miss, I'd lean them covering in this thing. But I believe I'll lean under as well. I think it's going to be more defensive than offensive from that standpoint. Let me look at Ole Miss offense. Yeah, see, the offensive coordinator for Middle Tennessee, 58.921, low 3-star OC, going up against a near 4-star DC. That's a huge mismatch. But then you have a 4.5-star OC in Lane going up against, I'm going under and cover. I'll leave the points.
56-3.
Yeah, give me 48-3, right? Give me 56-7. There we go. 56-7, dude. Closes the line closes at 63.5, and it finishes a half a point under. But I just Mason being so good defensively, trying to slow the game down. I think that's really going to be more of the effect on the total. But I wouldn't be betting against Ole Miss not covering against a new staff and this team on the road right now.
Cal, Dave Bartu, Show Me the Money, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Bet $50 there at the sportsbook. Play Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $40. Cal at Auburn. The line is Auburn minus 13. Auburn minus 13 at Auburn. And the over-under is 53.5.
Cal sucks, right? I mean, this is Cal sucks, and they lost their offensive coordinator last year. The only thing that has been good for Cal in the Justin or in the Josh Wilcox era has been the offense last year, and he left. So I just don't have a whole lot of faith in Cal, and Auburn's kicking this thing off in the heat of the day to just try to melt Colorado right into the turf there. You're talking about the number 18 recruiter going up against number 71.
Woo! Jackson
71,
Meadows.
Right? Right? I mean, so this is a massive mismatch. You have you got Hugh, near 4.5-star offensive play caller.
Yeah, he's outstanding.
Going up against going up against Peter Sermon. Oh my God, man! I'm not even allowed to say that out loud without getting a felony charge in the state of Mississippi anymore.
How is he still there?
Dude, that's nepotism. It's buddies. Remember, Josh and Peter played together at the Ducks. Right? So obviously Cal don't care about football, which they don't, right? Fans don't care about football. They don't care if they win or lose. And Sermon is below average. And you have an offensive coordinator that's below average going up against a 4-star DC and a near 4.5-star OC. I like Auburn to win and cover in that ball game. The total 53.5. Don't like that.
Okay.
It's just right in the middle. I don't got to lean either way on that one. But then the first half is only -7, -6.5. I see a bet up there right now. I see -6.5. I like Auburn winning. I like them covering first half. I like them covering for the game. I think that is a really big talent. Not only talent disparity, there is a massive coaching disparity, and they're at home. I think Auburn rolls it up big against Cal.
All right, there you go. He likes Ole Miss that's a big line,
man.
But Ole Miss is loaded this year. Everybody's back, continuity, stability, all that stuff in the coaching staff with Kiffin, Golding, Dart. Even the 41, he's like, let's roll. I went ahead and took it. I laid the points. So I took the Ole Miss Rebels. I also took Mississippi State. I think I need to tease Mississippi State up and find another game, maybe Auburn Cal.
Oh man,
and tease that down and just win all kinds of money so that I can keep my kids in college.
That's
is
nice.
Is that something that we're
real nice?
That could be. And Mississippi State's got such a pivotal game. Ole Miss is not going to be challenged for some time now. But are you taking the 41 in a hook? I'd like to know from you on the agup.com text line, 601-885-3776. Bartu said, hey, I think, he likes for Ole Miss to win big. 49-6 or something. But well, actually, that would be over. So he didn't want to go over, but something pretty big. But I guess Mason's going to try to, get a first down. I don't know if they will in the first half. And bleed the clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bleed the clock, take the paycheck.
Right.
Get out of there as healthy as you can, knowing that you want to win conference games in your conference.
Right.
So bleed it, run it, try to do things to keep that clock rolling. Get the big payday from Ole Miss. Get your because you got to pay for football, basketball, baseball, and everything else at Middle Tennessee. What did Rich Rod say?
Yep.
We'll go to Alabama and get our whats kicked for $2 million. We got to pay bills.
He said he'll tell them Roll Tide.
Yeah, he said I'll get a midfield. I'll say Roll Tide. Give me the $2 million check. We can get beat.
And we'll play him again tomorrow. I love it.
We can get beat 56-3. I'm not sure they could kick a field goal, but let's just say what the hell they could. Let's say they got some kind of awesome soccer kicker at Jacksonville State,
right? Which
there's a lot of those around the country and around the Sun Belt. Kids that can flat out boot it. And Middle Tennessee bleeds the clock. Now, Mississippi State at Arizona State, I really don't know. The only thing I know about this team is Shapen can play.
Right.
And, from there, and they've got some pieces on offense that they haven't had. We'll see if Kelly plays. I don't know if he is. Boy, you would love to see him play because they think he's even better than Coleman, and you saw what Coleman did last week. Levy and that offensive staff, I'm not surprised that they're going to get what they need to get out of Mosley. I mean, this kid was a legit prospect out of Mobile, was signing with Tennessee, but Jeremy Pruitt got fired. Then he went to Northwestern, was miserable up in the Chicago area, wanted to come back. Has been at Mississippi State, but made a couple of plays, but with all the transition, Leach and Arnett, just didn't work out. Now, all of a sudden, he made some plays last weekend. I think they'll get Sadu involved, and they have to get him involved. Levy schemed up a route last week with Sadu, and Levy can't stop talking about him. Transfer from Colorado that wasn't allowed to play last year. They schemed up a play last week where he was wide open. Shapen put it on the money. He just got a little alligator arms. I'm sure they told him exactly what they thought watching film on Sunday. He's a very talented kid. He looks the part. He looks like a Bama, Ole Miss, Georgia, Tennessee tight end, which they haven't had. One, because Leach doesn't play tight ends. And two, even prior to that, they didn't have a playmaking tight end under Moorhead. I think you'd have to go back all the way to Malcolm Johnson. Is that the name under Mullen in that kind of 14-ish, 15-ish range? But I may be missing somebody. So I think you want to get Sadu going tomorrow night, and that opens up Coleman and Mosley even more. They wanted to go to him first play of the game. But he can be a valuable asset. Yeah. You see the other teams, Missouri, Ole Miss, Bama, Georgia, and some out of the conference that have look at what Michigan did last year that are using, what has really become kind of the position that outside of Kellen Winslow Sr. and a few others wasn't used like it should have been used for decades. And now, you got Hugh Freeze the way he used Evan Ingram. Mm-hmm. Ole Miss has pre-scoring. We know about Bowers from Georgia, and I hope that he and Gardner Minshew have an unbelievable year with the Las Vegas Raiders. I think that could be super cool. And it could be such a jump start. It could really get them ahead of where they want. If Bowers, because I think Bowers is day one ready. He's that type of player for Las Vegas. And how it could help Minshew really do what he wants to do with some other things in that offense. Obviously, they're going to want to pound the football too. But watch for Sadu tomorrow night. Boy, if you can get him going in the first half, I think it's going to be a game all night. I think you're going to have to strap in, buckle in, and get ready for an absolute dogfight. And I know Arizona State's not good, but they're a Power 5 team. They do have some athletes. They're not, they wouldn't be considered a good or even average SEC team. But you're going on the road. They're going to think it's their Super Bowl with an SEC team coming in. Now, all week, the media out in Phoenix, Tempe, Scottsdale has said this. What have they said? Because I watched some of the press conferences. What have they said to you've never beat an SEC team? So that's all they've heard all week. And Dillingham was the OC at Oregon with Bo Nix for a year, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to get that thing up and running. They have like 50 new players. Some of them are going to be good. Some of them aren't going to be. You still have more athletes. You still have more speed. And you have, I wish Sam Leavitt the best, who transferred in from Michigan State to Arizona State, but you have the better quarterback in Blake Shapen. But you got two new coaches that are trying to rebuild programs. It's a little bit of a funky game at night, on the road. You don't ever know. It's not Pac-12 after dark. They're now in the Big 12, and I know it makes me want to take crazy pills. I don't know what's going on. Cal and Stanford are in the ACC. Arizona and Arizona State are in the Big 12. I don't know. Last weekend I was confused. I'm trying to check scores, and I'm going to the wrong conferences on the drop down.
You're going to conferences that don't exist.
Yeah, and then I couldn't find the Pac-12, and I was like, Bo, you do this for a living. They're not here. They're gone.
It's absurd.
And when I was watching Will Rogers late, Wendy went to bed on Saturday night, and so I got on the couch, and I wanted to watch Will play because I'm for him. And I went, oh, man, I'll watch Pac-12 football. And I went, they're not in the Pac-12. They're in the Big 10.
I like it, though. The Big 10 bounce back.
Big 10 bounce back with Washington and Oregon.
That's it.
And look, I know people enjoyed our SEC teams losing last weekend. If you believe that I think that we're not a good conference because A&M lost a close game against Notre Dame, and because South Carolina and LSU was one hell of a football game in Las Vegas, you know what? It was kind of like all those people chirping when we lost a few games the first weekend of March Madness.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to our other teams advancing those next two weekends in March Madness? Exactly. So Danny Cannell started running his mouth, and then what happened to his team? They're 0-2 and lost to Boston College, who doesn't even care about football. They don't. I'll never forget Tim Brando telling me when we were hanging out. He went, Bo, I was calling a game up in Boston, and I was looking for Boston College news, and in the Boston Globe, they were on the 16th page of the sports section. Behind the Celtics, behind the Patriots, behind the Bruins, and behind the Red Sox. Florida State, Danny Cannell disappeared after making fun of the SEC playing two very competitive games last weekend. No, I still think our league, last year our league was down. This year, I expect our league to be ferocious. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. We're going to go to Oxford, Mississippi. Welcome in my friend, Patrick Kelly, Finch and Kelly. We'll get an update from the square. PK in the house. Coming up next on the Out of Bounds Show.